Chapter 471 Taking Care of Myself. Part 2. It would also benefit him to have the monk Tianxin perform the rituals to help those departed souls find peace. The wronged souls of millions, with the help of Xiandao, devoured the demon, evolving into a massive force of resentment. Even though Xiandao had previously resolved the inner demons of some people and allowed them to be reincarnated, there were still many people who did not want to enter the cycle of reincarnation. Let's leave these people to monk Tianxin. Anyway, he is very powerful, so performing the ritual to help these people pass on is not difficult for him. Moreover, after successfully performing the ritual, he will be blessed with good fortune. After all, it's a good deed, which will help his Buddhist practice. The monk Tianxin obeyed the order and left the heaven and earth money shop to perform rituals to deliver the vengeful spirits from their graves. Xiandao lay in his room with his eyes closed, intending to rest for a while. He had expended a great deal of his energy to devour the thunderclouds, and was now completely exhausted. The lightning tribulation devoured Xiandao, sending him entirely into the nine heavens world to improve it. Although Xiandao's strength did not increase, his potential was greatly enhanced. Only when the 9 heavens and 10 earths, like the other two, are integrated into Xiandao's body and become a part of him, can they continuously grow stronger. Xiandao sighed softly. The 9 heavens are of a much higher level than the 10 earths, and they require more energy. My only hope lies in the remaining 8 demon god pillars. With that thought in mind, Xiandao lost all interest in resting. He immediately contacted Zhongziki and the demon lord. These two are now sharing one body and have been searching for demon god pillars outside. The 4 demon god pillars they obtained earlier have already been digested by Xiandao, and now Xiandao needs more demon god pillars. In the boundless depths of the ocean, in the realm of Juntian, Zhongziki and the demon lord searched. The news of Xiandao's arrival startled both of them. "My masters!" Zhongziki exclaimed in surprise. "My masters!" The demon sighed, in great pain, and reluctant to accept it. "Go up and receive it," Zhongziki said helplessly. The demon nodded. They quickly moved away from the deep sea and onto the surface, where they contacted Xiandao. "Master," the demon called out enthusiastically, "have you found the demon god pillar recently?" Xiandao asked bluntly. "This?" The demon hesitated. Zhongziki's soul separated and winked, saying, "Found it. Tell master we've found a clue." The demon stared wide-eyed, gesturing silently, but there were no clues. Zhongziki then instructed the demon to say this. "What?" Xiandao asked in confusion. "Didn't you find it?" "We found it, but it's just a clue. We don't have any concrete information, so we hesitated." The demon glared fiercely at Zhongziki and explained. "Okay, then you guys keep searching. Let me know when you have any news or confirmation," Xiandao instructed. "Okay, no problem. I'll go and verify the authenticity of this news right away. Goodbye, master," the demon said enthusiastically, ending his call with Xiandao, and glaring fiercely at Zhongziki's soul. "Why did you ask me to tell the master that there's a lead? We have absolutely no leads right now," the demon demanded. "You've been searching for so long and still haven't found a clue. Aren't you afraid your master will scold you if word gets out?" Zhongziki asked. "But you can't lie to your master. How do you plan to explain this clue? Tell your master that this clue is fake and we have no way to deal with it," the demon retorted. "This isn't deception, it's delaying," Zhongziki explained. "But what will I use to explain this clue after a while?" the demon questioned. "Since I asked you to tell people, I must have a way," Zhongziki said smugly. The demon's eyes lit up, and he chuckled. "Big brother, do you have any ideas?" "I'm going to take you to find someone. He might have the answer," Zhongziki said. "Why didn't you take me there sooner if there was someone like that?" the demon asked, puzzled. "I also didn't want to bother others. This is no small person. He's the most mysterious person in the entire Juntian," Zhongziki said helplessly. "You know someone like that?" the demon asked, still somewhat doubtful. "Are you looking down on me?" Zhong Ziki said with displeasure. No, it's just that your cultivation level was very low before. How could you know such a person? The demon asked, puzzled. We met by chance and formed a good relationship, Zhong Ziki recalled. Where is this person? Let's go visit him now, the demon said impatiently. Well, before we visit, we should bring some treasures. This senior mentioned that he likes to eat, and there are many delicious seafoods in the sea. Let's catch some and bring them with us, Zhong Ziki said. This hobby is quite simple. The demon chuckled. Liking to eat is the simplest thing. If it was something rare treasures, they would have a harder time finding it. A truly exceptional person is always one who stands out from the crowd, Zhong Ziki said. The two then dived into the sea to search for various kinds of seafood, which they stored using magical artifacts and kept in seawater to ensure it wouldn't spoil. Then the two of them sped toward the shore. Where is this senior? The demon asked. Let's go to the southern mountains. There are countless Taoist academies there, and one of them belongs to him. I hope this senior is still alive and hasn't left Juntian, Zhong Ziki said anxiously. Will he leave Juntian? The demon asked. Yes, he said he would leave Juntian after he finished his business, and he hoped we would have better luck, Zhong Ziki said. Why didn't you say so earlier? We could have come sooner, the demon complained. How was I supposed to know that finding a demon god pillar would be so difficult for you? Zhong Ziki complained as well. Sigh. The two sighed at the same time, buried their heads and hurried on their way, no longer blaming each other. From the ocean to the southern mountains, the demon's speed was rapid. He had been cultivating the summoning demon scripture using Zhong Ziki's body and had now broken through the heavenly mandate realm, even seizing the heavenly mandate for the second time. His progress was extremely fast. After all, the demon was originally a great demon from hell, whose vision and knowledge were far beyond what people from the heavens and earth could compare to. It's normal for progress to be faster. The two of them arrived in the southern mountains in just one day. The southern mountains stretch as far as the eye can see, their peaks rising and falling endlessly. Within these mountains, there are cities, tribes, and even a mix of demons and monsters. As long as one lives and works in peace and contentment here, one can settle down and not worry about life. Because these southern mountains belong to the territory of the Xiandao sect. Unlike other sects, although it is also a Taoist lineage, its mountain gate is inconspicuous. Instead, there are thousands of Taoist temples of Xiandao in the entire southern mountains. Each Taoist temple has a Taoist priest who has passed the examination of the Xiandao sect and is now recruiting new disciples to teach the Xiandao sect's techniques and Taoist classics. Xiandao dispersed itself into smaller parts, and its vast sect was scattered throughout the massive southern mountains. This is also the way of survival for Xiandao. When the demon entered the southern mountains, he saw many Taoist temples. Often, there would be a small Taoist temple every 10 miles, all named Xiandao. Where is the senior you're looking for? The demon asked curiously. Chapter 472 Senior Xiantian. Part 3. There are many mountains in the southern mountains, each with a different name, but without exception, they all have a Taoist temple. The demon's question reminded Zhong Ziki, who said, That senior lives on a mountain called Longhu. Go and ask him where Longhu Mountain is. The demon found someone from a tribe and asked them questions with a sincere attitude. Old man, may I ask where Longhu Mountain is? The old man, leaning on his cane, was sunbathing at the entrance of the village. After being asked a question, he thought carefully for a moment, then pointed and said, It's deep in the mountains. Once you go in, you'll see a mountain that's coiled like a dragon and another that's lying like a tiger. Between these two mountains is another mountain, which is Dragon Tiger Mountain. The demon thanked the old man, and then, taking advantage of a favorable wind, flew away. Deep in the mountains, the demon moved with incredible speed and soon spotted the iconic Longhu Mountain. Two great mountains, one dragon and one tiger, guard a high mountain. High in the mountains, there is a Taoist temple, not large, but very conspicuous, perched on the edge of a cliff. Zhong Ziki spotted it at a glance and exclaimed with delight, It's right here. It hasn't changed at all. The demon immediately flew up and arrived at the entrance of the Taoist temple. What's this expert's name? The demon asked. Xiandao, Zheng Ziki said. Senior Xiandao, this junior requests an audience, the demon shouted. Squeak. The door of the Taoist temple was opened, and a young Taoist priest walked out, his strength unfathomable. The demon glanced at him and realized that he couldn't see through the young man's cultivation level, which startled him, and he hurriedly bowed. We met once before and formed a good relationship. Now that you've brought people here, what brings you here? Xiandao Daoist stood at the door and asked softly. He ignored the demon and instead looked at Zheng Ziki's soul inside the demon's body. Both the demon and Zheng Ziki knew that Xiandao Daoist had seen through the fact that they were now sharing a single body. Zheng Ziki did not hide anything. The soul emerged, greeted the Taoist Xiandao, and said, Senior, I have truly run out of options, which is why I have come here with a sliver of hope. What's wrong with you? Xiandao Daoist asked curiously. I made a deal with this demon to share a body, Zheng Ziki explained. All right, come in and talk. The Taoist priest Xiandao didn't ask what the agreement was, and led them into the Taoist temple. The Taoist temple is very simple, with a large banyan tree that occupies half of the courtyard. Apart from the statue of the patriarch in the center, the entire Taoist temple consists of rooms, kitchen, backyard, and the like. A very simple Taoist temple. Only the Taoist priest Xiandao was there, and the place seemed very peaceful. Sit down and tell me slowly. Taoist Xiandao took out a pot of tea and invited Zheng Ziki to sit down. Seeing this, the demon handed over control of his body to Zheng Ziki and listened silently from the side. His intuition told him that this Taoist priest was not someone to be trifled with. So he keeps a low profile now. Silence is golden. After Zheng Ziki took control of his body, he took the initiative to chat with the Taoist Xiandao. Senior, we have no choice but to come to you this time. We are looking for this thing, but we have no clue. Please give us some guidance. Zheng Ziki took out a painting, which depicted the demon god pillar, and handed it to Xiandao Daoist. The Taoist priest glanced at it and nodded, saying, I've seen this before. Zheng Ziki and the demon were overjoyed at the same time. But the next second, the Taoist priest Xiandao extinguished their joy. There are 4 on Dragon Island, Xiandao Daoist added. Zheng Ziki said helplessly, how can we possibly obtain the things on Dragon Island? Then you won't get the others either, the Taoist Xiandao said truthfully. Senior really knows where the others are? Zheng Ziki exclaimed in surprise. I know that, but these forces are no less powerful than those on Dragon Island. You can't get what's on Dragon Island, and you can't get what's on these forces either, Xiandao Daoist said truthfully. Senior, we can't get it for now, but we need to know about it, and then we should work hard to cultivate and try to get it as soon as possible. Zheng Ziki gave an excuse. But he didn't think so in his heart. We can't get it, but our master can. The 4 demon pillars on Dragon Island were taken by the master. If other factions are similar to Dragon Island, then they're easy to take. The Taoist priest Xiandao thought for a moment, then sighed and said, the cause we planted before was not bad, and it has yielded a result, so I can tell you the whereabouts of these things, but are you sure you want to use this cause and effect to ask this question? In the eyes of the Taoist Xiandao, the problem was too simple. So simple that he eliminated the cause and effect without much effort. Senior, the magnitude of cause and effect is not determined by the size of the matter itself. My acquaintance with you was due to a small matter. I helped you with a small favor, and now you are helping me with a small favor. It's just right, Zheng Ziki said with a smile. That makes sense. Taoist Xiandao nodded and said, since that's the case, I'll tell you what I know. This junior is all ears, Zheng Ziki said with a delighted expression, then added solemnly. The demon listened attentively and remained silent. In these heavenly realms, besides the 4 pillars on Dragon Island, there is another place with 4 such pillars, Xiandao Daoist pointed. This finger pointed eastward. Zhong Ziki and the demon looked eastward, their faces full of confusion. Where? Zhong Ziki asked, puzzled. Who is the number one sect in Juntian? Shen Tian Daoist asked with a stern expression. The immortal sect of Chenkuan, Zhong Ziki answered immediately, without hesitation. Why is it the Chenkuan immortal sect? Shen Tian Daoist continued to ask. Because the Chenkuan immortal sect is a branch of the Chenkuan sect in the Azure Heaven. It controls the gate to the Azure Heaven. Everyone who wants to enter the Azure Heaven must be checked by the Chenkuan immortal sect, Zhong Ziki blurted out. Anyone in Shen Tian with even a little cultivation knows these things. The Chenkuan sect in the Azure Sky is a top-tier power. Its branch controls the gateway from the heavenly realm to the Azure Sky, and is called the Chenkuan Immortal Gate. Everyone knows that they are a branch of the Chenkuan sect. Yes. Do you know why the Chenkuan immortal sect can control the gateway to the heavens? Shen Tian Daoist continued to ask. Zhong Ziki shook his head. He didn't know. Because of the 4 pillars I just mentioned, which propped open this gate, they can set up a branch here for outstanding disciples to train, Shen Tian Daoist explained. I see. So these 4 pillars are the pillars of the Shen Tian immortal sect. Without these 4 pillars, the gate would be closed, and a world-class teleportation array would be needed to enter and exit the Azure Heaven. Zhong Ziki speculated. That's right, that's why I said you can't get the pillars on Dragon Island, so you can't get these 4 from the Chenkuan immortal sect either, Shen Tian Daoist said calmly. Zhong Ziki smiled slightly and said, whether I can get it or not is another matter. Knowing this gives me peace of mind. Thank you for your explanation, Senior. Zhong Ziki took out the seafood and placed it aside, saying, this is all seafood, very fresh. We caught it when we went into the sea. The Taoist priest Shen Tian said with satisfaction, you've put in the effort. Senior, is there any further news? Zhong Ziki asked hopefully. That's all I know, Shen Tian Daoist shook his head. Chapter 473 Self-Taught. Part 4. Zhong Ziki decided to stay and have lunch with the Taoist Shen Tian. A seafood feast. The Taoist priest Shen Tian was quite skilled at cooking, and while preparing a grand meal, he chatted with Zhong Ziki. You know what? I also met a senior a while ago, said the Taoist Shen Tian. A senior's senior? Zhong Ziki asked curiously. Yes, a senior's senior. I discussed the Tao with him for 7 days. And during those 7 days, he was the one who cooked. Shen Tian Daoist said with a strange expression. Is it not tasty? Zhong Ziki asked with a smile. It's not that it's bad, but this senior must have just started cooking. His skills are very average. The food he makes is just edible. Any good taste is all thanks to the ingredients, but he thinks it's all his own doing, Zhong Ziki complained behind his back. Haha, that's how beginners are. When I was a beginner, all I needed to do was cook things properly, Zhong Ziki laughed. So now I cook for myself and don't let you come. I'm with that senior, and I can't refuse his cooking or not eat it. I learned a lot during those 7 days, but this one thing left me speechless. Shen Tian Daoist complained about someone behind their back. Inside the Heaven and Earth Bank, Xiandao was cultivating when he sneezed and looked puzzled. Is Xiaoqi talking about me behind my back? Does she miss me? After eating and drinking to their heart's content, Zhong Ziki solemnly bid farewell to the Taoist Shen Tian. Goodbye, senior, Zhong Ziki said with a bow. Let's go, I'm leaving Juntian too. It's perfect timing that you've come. If you had arrived a few days later, I would have left. Shen Tian Daoist said with a smile. Is senior going to the heavenly realm? Zhong Ziki asked in surprise. Yes, after parting ways with you, I will also be leaving for Tsongtian, the last stop in the 9 heavens, Shen Tian Daoist nodded. I wish you a safe journey, senior, Zhong Ziki said. You too. Taoist Shen Tian waved his hand casually, then turned and entered the Taoist temple. Zhong Ziki returned his body to the demon and quickly left. Strange. This is damn weird. the demon said repeatedly after leaving the Longhu mountain area. What's so strange? Zhong Ziki asked in confusion. That Shen Tian Taoist priest was truly wicked, the demon said. What's so strange about Senior Shen Tian? He was so friendly. He told us the whereabouts of the demon god pillar and even treated us to a seafood meal, Zhong Ziki argued. It was a treat for you, but I didn't get a single bite. I just watched you eat it all, the demon said resentfully. Then why didn't you tell me? Zhong Ziki asked in confusion. That's not right. Why were you so quiet in the Taoist temple just now? You're only just realizing this, the demon said irritably, having been quiet for quite some time. I thought you didn't want to disturb my rare time of controlling my body, Zhong Ziki said apologetically. I'm telling you, there's definitely something strange about this Taoist priest Shen Tian, the demon said with certainty. Just because they didn't treat you to seafood, you're saying they're acting strangely? Zhong Ziki teased. Seriously, I'm not kidding you, the demon said seriously. Zhong Ziki also became serious and asked, Then tell me, what's strange about this place? First, I am the demon lord, right? The demon lord asked. Yes, you are a demon, a great demon from hell. Zhong Ziki nodded. When I, the great demon of hell, first met this Taoist Shen Tian, I naturally felt a powerful pressure, the demon said solemnly. Why don't I feel that Senior Shen Tian is very kind and approachable? Zhong Ziki asked in confusion. Your cultivation level is low, so it's normal that you can't sense it. Do you know who I've experienced this pressure on before? The demon asked Zhong Ziki. Who? Master. Zhong Ziki guessed. No, the master is the kind of person who is aloof, naturally mysterious, and noble, unlike the Shen Tian Daoist, the demon explained. Then who did you experience it with? Zhong Ziki asked, puzzled. Demon Lord, the demon said solemnly. Zhong Ziki's soul blinked and asked in confusion, Who is the demon lord? The demon was speechless and sighed. The demon realm has a demon emperor who rules over countless realms, and below the demon emperor is the demon lord, who is a great master capable of changing the world. You mean the pressure emanating from Senior Shen Tian is the same as the pressure emanating from the demon lord? Zhong Ziki asked in shock. That's what shocked me. I wanted to say no, but the truth is, he probably didn't even realize he had such a natural aura of pressure. I was so scared that I didn't dare to speak, afraid of giving myself away and being targeted by him, the demon said, still shaken. So terrifying. Zhong Ziki exclaimed in surprise. That's why I said this Taoist priest Shen Tian is very strange, the demon said irritably. It's all right. You saw it yourself. Senior Shen Tian is very kind, and he's about to go to Zongtian. We won't run into him, so don't be afraid, Zhong Ziki comforted him. Who said I'm afraid? The demon stubbornly replied. I'm just being cautious. Better safe than sorry, you know. All right, you're not afraid, you're cautious, and it's always better to be safe than sorry. Let's not discuss Senior Shen Tian anymore, okay? We can't contact him anyway. Do you want to report the news about the demon god pillar to the master? Zhong Ziki asked. The demon said decisively, Of course we have to report it. I've been searching for the demon god pillar for so long, and now we finally have news. We must let our master know how hard we've worked. Then you can report it, Zhong Ziki said. The demon began contacting Xiandao. Inside the Heaven and Earth money shop, Xiandao closed his eyes to rest and adjust his state. Just then, news of the demon arrived. Xiandao raised an eyebrow. The demon lord rarely sent him messages. Every time he did, it was related to the demon god pillar. Could it be that we've found information about the remaining demon god pillars? Xiandao thought to himself, his spirits lifted, and he immediately made the call. Master, we've found news about the demon god pillar. The demon's first words were direct and to the point. Xiandao was overjoyed and said, It's hard to explain over the communication, so I'll return to Chendi Chenjuang immediately. Xiandao wanted to ask him directly. Now, this demon god pillar has become the only hope for Zhouqian to merge into Li Xiandao's body, so we can't be careless. Yes, master, the demon replied. Li Xiandao immediately had the Heaven and Earth Bank teleport there to pick up the demon and Zhong Ziki. Li Xiandao himself arrived at the square, waiting with anticipation. Xiao Qi walked over curiously and asked, "The Heaven and Earth Bank teleported away. What happened?" Li Xiandao said, "The demon has sent word that he has discovered the demon god pillar, and my Heaven and Earth money house has gone to pick him up." Only the demon god pillar could make you this enthusiastic, Xiao Qi joked. That's right, I need to become stronger to protect the beautiful little seven, Li Xiandao said, blinking at little seven. You just know how to tease me. Xiao Qi blushed and pinched Li Xiandao's arm. Who did you learn this from? Li Xiandao asked in surprise. Women can all learn this without a teacher, Xiao Qi said proudly. Awesome. Li Xiandao gave a thumbs up. Chapter 474 The Contract of the Qiankuan Immortal Sect. Part 5. The demon was taken to the Heaven and Earth Money House. When he entered the square, he saw Li Xiandao and Xiao Qi standing there. Master. The demon approached and said respectfully. He looked at Li Xiandao and found that Li Xiandao's aura was much more terrifying than when he had seen him before. It suddenly seems 10 times more terrifying. And that's not all. Master, you've obtained the Samadhi True Fire? The demon immediately guessed the reason and asked in surprise. Only by melting those 4 demonic pillars and absorbing their resources could Li Xiandao become so terrifying. Li Xiandao nodded and said, "The Samadhi True Fire has been obtained." Master is indeed capable. You should know that even in the immortal realm, it is very difficult to obtain the Samadhi True Fire. With the fall of the Stone Emperor, the Stone Clan has also disappeared. The Samadhi True Fire is a stone fire that can only be born from a member of the Stone Clan. I thought Master would have to go to the immortal realm to obtain the stone fire, the demon said with emotion. It was just a coincidence, Li Xiandao said casually, without mentioning the Heavenly Emperor's regret. He is currently concerned about news of the demon pillar. Have you obtained information about several demon god pillars? Li Xiandao asked. The demon held up 4 fingers and said, "This time we have identified 4 demon god pillars, but because the opponent is too powerful, we immediately reported to our master." Like Dragon Island? Li Xiandao asked calmly. Hearing that the opponent was too powerful, Li Xiandao showed no emotional fluctuation whatsoever. He is really powerful now. The opponent is even more powerful than Dragon Island, Zhong Ziki said, his soul leaving his body as he stood aside. Oh, even more powerful than Dragon Island. What kind of force is it? Li Xiandao asked curiously. Master, have you heard of the Qiankuan Immortal Sect? Zhong Ziki asked. Li Xiandao shook his head. He knew nothing about the great power of Jun Tian. Xiao Qi, who was standing to the side, asked, "Is it the Qiankuan Immortal Sect, the number 1 sect in Jun Tian?" Right. Does Lord Xiao Qi know? Zhong Ziki asked in surprise. Li Xiandao also looked at Xiao Qi with curiosity. I know about the Qiankuan Immortal Sect because their current sect leader visited the Heaven and Earth Bank before and even signed a contract, Xiao Qi explained. You mean the leader of the Qiankuan Immortal Sect still owes us something? Li Xiandao's eyes lit up. Yes, I'll go get the contract. Xiao Qi quickly went to get the contract. After waiting for a while, Xiao Qi brought over a contract and handed it to Li Xiandao, saying, "This is it." Li Xiandao took the contract and found it quite interesting. The Dugu clan, a disciple of the Qiankuan sect, traded his kidney function for an invincible sword technique. He researched it for 3,000 years, and after 3,000 years, he returned it to its original form. He then used a celestial artifact to redeem his kidney function. Breaching the contract will cost you your life and your magical artifact. The contract also bears the signature of the Dugu clan, written in a flamboyant and elegant style. Li Xiandao blinked and said, "What a ruthless person, even trading his kidney function. Without kidney function, his manhood will never be able to function again. The worst part is that the Dugu clan has broken their contract and won't come to redeem his kidney function. This is what they call castration. This contract was signed 10,000 years ago. The previous owner had a perverse sense of humor. His kidney function was not worth that sword manual at all, but the previous owner still signed the contract, saying that he wanted to see whether this person liked swordsmanship or his own body, Xiaoqi said helplessly. So he has been in breach of contract for 7,000 years. Li Xiandao couldn't help but feel a deep respect. Being a eunuch for over 10,000 years was no easy feat. Yes, that's perfect. You can resolve this contract issue now, Xiaoqi nodded. Li Xiandao looked at the text on the contract and asked in surprise. It says Chenkuan sect here, but you say it's Chenkuan Immortal Sect. Did you change the name? Zhong Ziki explained. Master, this Chenkuan sect is not a force within Juntian, but rather within Songtian. The Chenkuan sect of Songtian has opened a branch in Juntian, named Chenkuan Immortal Gate, and controls the entrance from Juntian to Songtian. You've controlled the entrance? That's amazing. Li Xiandao asked in surprise. Yes, no one in Juntian can defeat the Chenkuan Immortal Sect. Of course, even if they could, they would have to consider the support from their own Chenkuan sect. So many people turn a blind eye to this matter and pay a toll every time they go to Songtian, and are investigated. Zhong Ziki nodded. Pretty domineering, huh? What about the demon god pillar? Li Xiandao asked, holding the contract behind his back with his hands clasped together. The demon god pillars are the pillars supporting the entrance to the heavens. The demon god pillars are indestructible and cannot be destroyed without the Samadhi true fire. Therefore, the people of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect placed 4 demon god pillars at the entrance to the heavens so that the entrance would not close and could not be opened anywhere else. They had to enter from here, Zhong Ziki said. I see. Li Xiandao understood. What he wanted had been used as a support for them. I am determined to obtain the 4 demon god pillars. It seems I have no choice but to confront this Chenkuan Immortal Sect head-on. Li Xiandao smiled slightly, but his smile was cold. Master, the current leader of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect is the Dugu clan. You can use this contract to question him, Zhong Ziki suggested. I know, you don't need to worry about this anymore. We've found 4 more demon god pillars this time, so there are 4 left out of the 12. Keep searching, Li Xiandao instructed. Master, if we continue searching, we'll have to leave Juntian. There are no demon god pillars here, the demon couldn't help but say. Go to the heavenly realm? Li Xiandao pondered for a moment and guessed. The demon nodded and said, we must go to the heavenly palace. The last 4 demon god pillars must be in the heavenly palace. Then you can go. I'll go get the demon god pillar from the Chenkuan Immortal Sect. You can go find the rest of the demon god pillars without worry, Li Xiandao agreed. Goodbye, master. The demon and Zhong Ziki merged into one, and then he bid farewell to Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao watched them leave and disappear into the heaven and earth bank. He looked at Xiaoqi and said, I'll take this contract to the Chenkuan Immortal Sect. Are you going in person? Xiaoqi asked in surprise. Yeah, they're not strong enough yet. The strongest one should be Blood Dragon, who's only at the 3rd level of the Heavenly Mandate Realm, Li Xiandao said disdainfully. Although Shuilong diligently cultivated, his progress was still far behind in Li Xiandao's eyes. The Chenkuan Immortal Sect must be in great danger. There must be experts who have seized the destiny of heaven 5 times or more. Blood Dragon can't control the situation. I'm afraid you won't be able to go for the time being, Xiaoqi said with a slight smile. What's wrong? Li Xiandao looked at Xiaoqi with confusion. We have guests, Xiaoqi said with a slight smile. A guest? Li Xiandao asked curiously, a new guest or an old guest? He's a new guest, but someone you know, Xiaoqi added with a playful smile. Chapter 475 Chaos Dragon Crocodile. Part 6. The new guest was a first-time visitor, but Li Xiandao knew him, which piqued Li Xiandao's curiosity. Who is it? Li Xiandao asked. Do you still remember when the dragon leaped over the dragon gate in the cold moon heaven, crossed the 9 dragon gates, and transformed into a blood dragon? Xiaoqi asked. Li Xiandao nodded and said, "This is blood dragon's opportunity." Many others leaped over the dragon gate with the blood dragon, but only 2 have successfully crossed all 9 dragon gates, Xiaoqi reminded Li Xian. Li Xiandao realized who the other person was. That chaos dragon crocodile is named Yi Feng. I remember he was also in Juntian. I didn't expect that he would be the guest this time, Li Xiandao said. Will you be receiving guests? Xiaoqi asked with a smile. We'll receive you, chaos dragon crocodile. Like the blood dragon, it leaped over the 9 dragon gates. It's a being with immense potential, worth extorting a sum of money from, Li Xiandao coughed and said firmly. In a certain place in Juntian, where the sun and moon meet, there is a cage. Countless indifferent eyes fall on this place, watching a chaotic dragon crocodile that is more than 3 meters tall struggle and roar. It's useless. The cage formed by my Qiankuan immortal sex prison array is a death sentence for you. A cold, thunderous voice boomed and exploded in the chaos dragon crocodile's ears, causing it to raise its head, look at the palace in the endless clouds, and roar. I'd rather die than be your mount. The chaos dragon crocodile roared, its chaotic aura surging as it resisted the prison array. There's no point in stubbornly clinging to the past. Your sister has already committed suicide. She was just a mixed blood dragon. It's extremely unwise for you to make an enemy of us for her sake. The condescending voice was full of disdain. No matter what, my sister is still my sister. After our mother passed away, she raised me. I haven't given her anything in return. Blood and tears welled up in the eyes of the chaos dragon crocodile, and he hated the person who spoke to him to the core. It was my sister who told me that I must leap over the dragon gate and change my destiny. She always firmly believed that I, her younger brother, was not a good-for-nothing and that I would definitely have the ability. Now I have transformed into the chaos dragon crocodile, but she can no longer see it. The chaos dragon crocodile roared to the sky, its entire body trembling, filled with uncontrollable rage. Your hatred is meaningless. My Qiankuan immortal sect is something you'll have to look up to your entire life. Having leaped over the 9 dragon gates, you're no longer a piece of trash. A disdainful voice rang out. They fell from the high palace hidden in the clouds. Even if I'm a piece of trash, I will never submit to you. Qiankuan immortal sect, I will definitely destroy you. The chaos dragon crocodile roared angrily. It seems you still don't know what's good for you. This prison formation will imprison you for 1,000 years. If you're still stubborn after 1,000 years, we'll send you to see the ancestral Dragon King. The high and mighty man seemed to be provoked and said coldly, "Rumble." The cage formation that suppressed the chaos dragon crocodile rapidly contracted and sank directly into a vast river and sea, rendering the chaos dragon crocodile's roars and struggles futile. The chaos dragon crocodile was trapped in the cage formation and was extremely anxious. He had rushed into the Qiankuan immortal gate and exposed himself because he wanted to save his sister. I thought that once I reached the heavenly fate realm, these people would release my sister, but they actually forced her to commit suicide in grief and indignation. They deserve to die, they deserve to die, they deserve to die. The chaos dragon crocodile's eyes were bloodshot. He would never forgive the Qiankuan immortal sect. What should I do now? There are several people in the Qiankuan immortal sect who have seized the mandate of heaven 7 times. I can't beat them. The chaos dragon crocodile was extremely anxious. The prison formation was set up by 4 individuals who had seized the heavenly mandate 7 times, and it was used to suppress the chaos dragon crocodile, whose cultivation had reached the level of a 3-time heavenly mandate seizer. Chaos dragon crocodile felt desperate. Was he really going to be suppressed for 1,000 years? After 1,000 years, my sister's bones must be cold by now. My sister will probably blame me. I'm a useless brother who has to take care of her my whole life, and I can't even avenge her in the end. Chaos dragon crocodile felt extremely guilty. Her older sister's bloodline wasn't strong, but she could transform into human form. In order for him to grow up steadily, she became the concubine of the leader of the Qiankuan immortal sect, enduring hardship and providing him with all the resources she could, all in the hope that he would succeed. Now he has made something of himself, but his sister has also passed away. The leader of the Qiankuan immortal sect gave his sister away to others to be played with. Unable to bear the humiliation, his sister chose to commit suicide. Upon learning this news, the Chaos Dragon crocodile exploded, revealing its true form and charging into the Qiankuan immortal sect, wreaking havoc in all directions. In the end, it forced the hidden forces of the Qiankuan immortal sect, the 4 Seventh Heavenly Mandate Caesars, to join forces and suppress it. Who can help me? The Chaos Dragon crocodile could only hope that someone from the unseen world would come to his aid. He cannot escape the prison formation on his own, because he is currently unable to withstand the 4 people who have reached the level of seizing destiny 7 times. The cage array was devoid of spiritual energy. It was just a cage, about 3 meters in size, imprisoning the Chaos Dragon crocodile within, making it difficult for it to even turn over. Chaos Dragon crocodile is desperate. Buzz buzz buzz. Just when he was in despair, a blood-red pocket watch appeared in the only space within the prison array. The Heaven and Earth Bank deals in everything. For the right price, anything is possible. The blood-red pocket watch revealed information that delighted the Chaos Dragon crocodile. I'm willing to pay the price. The Chaos Dragon crocodile clenched its fist tightly, as if venting all its hatred in that squeeze. Click. The blood-red pocket watch shattered, turning into streams of light that enveloped the Chaos Dragon crocodile, carrying him away into the prison array. In the trading hall of the Heaven and Earth Bank, the Chaos Dragon crocodile appeared. It was 3 meters tall, not in human form, but humanoid, with its feet on the ground, its tail trailing behind it, and its body covered in a layer of armor of chaotic aura, its head looking around. He discovered a man and a woman deep within the main hall. After a moment's hesitation, the Chaos Dragon crocodile walked over. Can you help me? Chaos Dragon crocodile asked impatiently. Welcome, guest. As long as you pay the right price, Chendi Money House can do anything for you, Xiandao nodded. What price must I pay to destroy the Qiankuan immortal sect? The Chaos Dragon crocodile asked, a fierce glint in its eyes. Xiandao looked at the Chaos Dragon crocodile with boundless potential before him, smiled slightly, and told Xiao Qi to bring over the contract. Xiao Qi and Xiandao now have a perfect understanding. Xiandao doesn't even need to tell Xiao Qi what the contract is about, and Xiao Qi already knows what to write. Xiandao took the contract, glanced at it, and then pushed it to the Chaos Dragon crocodile, saying, the price for destroying the Qiankuan immortal sect is all in here. Once you sign it, we will do it. Chaos Dragon crocodile glanced at the contract, its pupils contracted, and its breathing became rapid. But a minute later, Chaos Dragon crocodile still signed. I want the Qiankuan immortal sect to be completely destroyed. The Chaos Dragon crocodile roared from the bottom of its heart. Chapter 476 The Passage. Part 7. The Chaos Dragon crocodile saw in the contract that it would have to pay a low price for its entire life in exchange for the destruction of the Qiankuan immortal sect. He thought about it carefully for a while and then signed the document. Because it was the claw of a dragon crocodile, it was inconvenient for him to sign his name, so he used his inner energy to control the pen, and wrote his name in a flowing, dragon-like motion. Yifeng. The name is quite elegant. Xiandao smiled slightly and put the contract away. This is a name my sister likes. I only chose it because my sister likes it, the Chaos Dragon crocodile said in a low voice. Now that the contract is signed, tell me some things about the Qiankuan immortal sect, Xiandao asked. Xiandao knows nothing about the Qiankuan immortal sect. Even if he is arrogant and thinks he is unmatched, it is still good to understand it. The Chaos Dragon crocodile said, the Qiankuan immortal sect currently has 30,000 disciples, most of whom are outer disciples. There are only 3,000 true disciples in the inner sect, and very few in the middle and upper levels. After all, they have only been established in Juntian for more than 10,000 years. Li Xiandao seemed to be deep in thought. The reason why the Chenkuan immortal sect can stand tall in the heavens and be called the #1 power is because they have 4 experts who have seized the mandate of heaven 7 times, and they have the support of the heavens, so they can be supported at any time, the Chaos Dragon Crocodile said indignantly. Without these 4 masters and the support of the Chenkuan sect in the azure sky, the Chenkuan immortal sect would have been wiped out long ago. Li Xiandao pondered and said, "So, to destroy the Chenkuan immortal sect, we must destroy the passage between Juntian and Songtian?" "Yes, we absolutely have to, otherwise we won't be able to defeat the reinforcements from the Chenkuan sect," the Chaos Dragon Crocodile affirmed. "Can't beat them?" Li Xiandao remained non-committal. He wasn't worried about being unable to win, but it would be pointless to clash with the top forces in Songtian right now. To accomplish the greatest things with the least effort, that was Li Xiandao's goal. "So, I'll go to the Chenkuan Immortal Gate later and hold off the 4 people who have seized the mandate of heaven 7 times. You quickly destroy the passage from Songtian to Juntian and put away the 4 pillars for me," Li Xiandao instructed. "No problem. Even without those 4 who have seized the destiny of heaven 7 times, I can sweep through the Chenkuan immortal sect, and I can destroy that passage at any time," the Chaos Dragon Crocodile said excitedly. The entire Chenkuan immortal sect is supported by only 4 people who have seized the mandate of heaven 7 times, one of whom can also be considered his brother-in-law. "Master, could you let me kill the leader of the Chenkuan immortal sect?" the Chaos Dragon Crocodile pleaded. "The leader of the Chenkuan immortal sect? The Dugu clan?" Li Xiandao asked curiously. "Why?" "Because the sect leader of the Chenkuan immortal sect took my sister as a concubine, but he actually gave her away to others for their pleasure." "It's outrageous," Chaos Dragon Crocodile said, suppressing his anger. "Wait a minute." Li Xiandao raised his hand and blinked. "You just said that the leader of the Chenkuan immortal sect took your sister as a concubine?" Li Xiandao asked with a strange expression. "Yes, that lecherous man married a beautiful wife and took more than a dozen concubines. He spends all his time surrounded by women," the Chaos Dragon Crocodile said angrily. Li Xiandao's expression became even stranger. He propped his head up with his hand and asked curiously, "Are we talking about the same person?" As far as he knew, the leader of the Chenkuan immortal sect was impotent. "The leader of the Chenkuan immortal sect, the Dugu clan, is he," said the Chaos Dragon Crocodile. Li Xiandao blinked. There was no mistake. It was indeed the same person. "Does the Dugu clan have any children?" Li Xiandao asked curiously. His gossipy nature was ablaze. Xiao Qi, who was standing to the side, couldn't help but chuckle when she heard Li Xiandao ask that question. The Chaos Dragon Crocodile knew nothing and honestly replied, "Yes, I have 6 sons and 15 daughters." Li Xiandao gasped and said, "These 21 hats are too dazzling." "What 21 hats?" Chaos Dragon Crocodile asked, puzzled. "Take a look at this." Li Xiandao thought for a moment and handed the contract signed by the Dugu clan to the Chaos Dragon Crocodile. The Chaos Dragon Crocodile had a pair of small eyes on its enormous head, and it stared intently at them. "The Dugu clan has no kidney function?" Chaos Dragon Crocodile exclaimed, looking at Li Xiandao in disbelief. Li Xiandao nodded, his expression innocent, and said, "Without kidney function, he can't have sex. So how were these children born?" The Chaos Dragon Crocodile blinked its small eyes, thought carefully, and then roared, "He himself has no kidney function, yet he still takes my sister as a concubine. It's utterly outrageous. What's worse, he actually treated my sister like merchandise and gave her away to someone else. He deserves to die, he deserves to die, he deserves to die." Li Xiandao laughed and said, "It seems that this Dugu family is quite a character. He knows he is impotent, but he still has 21 children. That's remarkable." The Chaos Dragon Crocodile sneered. "No matter how great he is, he's still trash. I'm going to kill him with my own hands." Li Xiandao nodded and said, "I agree. The Dugu clan will definitely die at your hands." "Thank you, Master." The Chaos Dragon Crocodile called out, Master, willingly. As long as it could avenge its sister, the title of Master didn't matter. Now, Chaos Dragon Crocodile has only one thought in its mind: to kill the Dugu clan and avenge its sister. If Xiandao could get him to kill the Dugu clan, he would acknowledge Xiandao as his master. It's that simple. Xiandao stood up and said, "Go back now, and I'll go to the Chenkuan Immortal Sect immediately. We'll act together then and see what happens." "Yes, I await my master," the Chaos Dragon Crocodile said respectfully. With a wave of his hand, Xiandao caused the Chaos Dragon Crocodile to disappear, returning to the bottom of the icy lake and becoming trapped in the prison formation. Inside the Heaven and Earth Bank, Xiandao handed the contract signed by the Chaos Dragon Crocodile to Xiao Qi, while keeping the contract from the Dugu clan for himself, saying, "I'm going out now. Keep this contract safe. Have a safe trip and be careful," Xiao Qi said gently. Xiandao nodded, looked around to make sure no one was there, took Xiao Qi's hand, kissed it, and then quickly left. Little Qi's face was flushed, her eyes blinked, and she complained coquettishly, "You ambushed me again." Xiandao's loud laughter rang out, tinged with smugness. The Chenkuan Immortal Gate is located in the Far East, at the confluence of the sun and moon, where one can often witness the sunrise and sunset of the moon. Therefore, the spiritual energy here is the most abundant. A vast river and sea, its blue waves shimmering, with no houses along the way. The Chenkuan Immortal Gate stands high above, with a suspended palace, layer upon layer, incredibly enormous. The floating palace of the Chenkuan Immortal Gate is exquisite and beautiful, with white clouds drifting by. To the left of the floating palace, at the first point where the sun and moon meet, four huge demon god pillars support the sky, revealing a passage that seems to lead to a profound and unfathomable place. A surge of spiritual energy erupted from this passage. This is the passage to the heavens, fixed here by the Chenkuan Immortal Gate and supported by four demon god pillars to prevent the passage from closing. Chapter 477, Isn't My Pet Cute? Part 8. At the Chenkuan Immortal Sect, there are two parts, outer disciples and inner disciples. The outer disciples cultivate at the mountain gate of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect, guarding the entrance, building palaces, and so on. The inner disciples reside high within the floating palaces, departing on clouds and returning on the wind, a sight to behold. Many outer disciples dream of one day entering the inner sect and rising to a high position. So they diligently cultivated themselves, improved themselves, and guarded the mountain gate. The territory of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect extends for 10,000 miles, with the core area being only a few hundred miles in size, hence the strict guarding. Dressed in white, Xiandao walked with composure to the mountain gate of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect. Looking from his perspective, at the entrance to the Chenkuan Immortal Sect, there was a vast river and sea, stretching as far as the eye could see, its waters shimmering and sparkling. Willows hung down along the banks, their delicate strands creating a beautiful scene. "Scholar, what are you doing?" At this moment, a young man dressed as a disciple of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect walked over and questioned him. Xiandao blinked, realizing that this was a call to him. His attire did give him a scholarly air. "Look at the beautiful scenery of the rivers and lakes," Xiandao said. "This is the territory of the Chenkuan Immortal Sect. This river and sea belong to our Chenkuan Immortal Sect. You can't just look around like that. Hurry up and leave," the young disciple said, pushing Xiandao in dissatisfaction. Xiandao blinked and said, "I didn't go into the Chenkuan Immortal Gate. I was just looking at the scenery from the outside." "You scholar, you won't listen to advice, will you?" The young disciple glared at Xiandao and raised his hand to strike him. "Okay, then I'll move away a bit." Xiandao stepped back. "You're smart enough to know your place. What are you looking at, you poor scholar? What's the use of reading so many books if you have no cultivation?" The young disciple couldn't help but smile smugly and say disdainfully when he saw Xiandao step back. After stepping back a dozen paces, Xiandao looked at the young disciple and said calmly, "May I enjoy the scenery here?" "Get lost. Is the beauty of my Chenkuan Immortal Sect something you can look at?" the young disciple cursed angrily. Li Xiandao shook his head and sighed. One reaps what one sows. What did you say? The young disciple looked at Li Xiandao in confusion. I mean, I have a pet that's been locked up in this river and sea, and I've come to see him, Li Xiandao said softly. Bullshit. Nothing has ever been imprisoned in the river and sea. The fish in there are all wild, the young disciple scoffed. Are you sure? Li Xiandao asked with a half-smile. Of course, the young disciple said confidently, looking at Li Xian. I saw you're here to cause trouble. Get out of here right now, or don't blame me for being impolite, the young disciple coldly shouted. But I heard that a very cute animal was imprisoned in this river yesterday. Li Xiandao asked in confusion. The young disciple scoffed. Yesterday, the sect leader and the 3 patriarchs joined forces to suppress a ferocious beast. What kind of cute animal is that? But in my eyes, he's just an adorable pet, Li Xiandao said with a smile. The young disciple was taken aback, then his expression suddenly changed drastically as he stared at Li Xian and said, What nonsense are you spouting? Li Xiandao shook his head and said, I'm not talking nonsense. I said that my pet is being held in this river and sea, and you said no. Then how do you explain what happened yesterday? The young disciple's expression changed drastically, and he asked incredulously, You're in cahoots with that ferocious beast? The ferocious beast you mentioned is my pet, Li Xiandao said truthfully. Now I've come to take him out. It's very immoral of you to lock my pet up here without my permission as the owner. You're not going to kick me out now, are you? Li Xiandao asked, his eyes narrowing. The young disciple was so frightened that his legs went weak. He looked at Li Xiandao in terror, his lips trembling, unable to utter a single word. Li Xiandao looked at him, his gaze turning cold, and walked directly past him toward the riverbank. What do you want to do? The young disciple asked Li Xiandao in fear. You suppressed my pet. What kind of logic is that? Li Xiandao asked coldly. You're overthinking things by wanting to release that ferocious beast. That's a formation set up by the sect leader and the 3 patriarchs. You can't break it, the young disciple said, feeling a little more relaxed. Is that so? Li Xiandao's lips curled up. I can't open it. A willow branch fell in front of Li Xiandao. He reached out and picked a willow leaf, held it between 2 fingers, and gently stroked it. Clang! The willow leaf suddenly changed, filled with killing intent, and bursting forth with a sharp edge. Li Xiandao casually flicked his wrist, sending the willow leaf flying. A single willow leaf is enough, Li Xiandao said calmly. Lu Yi silently slashed out. It lacks any earth-shattering grandeur. There was no overwhelming surge. There was no awe-inspiring sword energy. All that remained was a sharp, piercing sword intent. After being thrown out by Li Xiandao, it landed in the river and sea with a loud bang, sinking straight down like a long, straight arrow shooting into the water. Soon, the enormous cage-like formation in the river and sea appeared before Lu Yi. The array wrapped around him layer by layer, trapping the 3-meter-tall Chaos Dragon crocodile in its core. Layer upon layer of confinement firmly pinned him inside, rendering him unable to move. Lu Yi acted decisively and charged forward to kill him. Clang! This time, they didn't continue to keep a low profile. This strike was like earth-fire colliding with heavenly lightning, unleashing immense power. The calm river and sea suddenly became turbulent, with towering waves that spread rapidly from the bottom and swept across the entire sky. In an instant, a breathtaking wave hundreds of meters high gathered and crashed down. Rumble. The sheer scale of it was astonishing, with waves surging and clouds billowing. It was truly terrifying. The prison formation exploded instantly. The Chaos Dragon crocodile at the center suddenly roared, activating its bloodline and transforming into a 300-foot-tall Chaos Dragon crocodile, surrounded by a chaotic aura that stretched for 100 miles, making it extremely terrifying. I will destroy the Qiankuan immortal sect. The Chaos Dragon crocodile roared, stepping directly onto the waves and instantly creating a giant wave 3,000 meters high, which covered the entire river and sea. Countless people witnessed this horrifying scene, stood frozen in place, and then fled in panic. The Chaos Dragon crocodile, carrying a giant wave 3,000 meters high, crashed directly into the floating palace in the void. This was an extremely terrifying scene, but Xiandao watched it with great interest. The young disciple who collapsed to the ground behind Xiandao had his worldview shattered. This scholar actually released this ferocious beast. Wasn't this ferocious beast suppressed by the sect leader and the three patriarchs working together? What methods did this scholar use? A willow leaf. The young Taoist priest felt his worldview shattered. He couldn't believe his eyes. Xiandao then turned his head and asked, "How is it? Isn't my pet cute?" The young disciple was going crazy. The 300-foot-tall Chaos Dragon crocodile, holding a double-edged giant axe, stood on its 2 feet, surrounded by a chaotic aura that stretched for hundreds of miles around. What's so cute about that? Is this a pet? Do all your pets look like this? Chapter 478. Do you still recognize this? Part 9. Knock knock knock. Xiandao's pet, having escaped its cage, laughed proudly at the heavens, wielding a double-edged giant axe, its imposing aura carrying a 3,000-meter-high wave as it crashed outwards. His goal was the palace that floated in mid-air. High above, looking down upon the world, the Chaos Dragon crocodile intends to completely destroy this palace today. Rumble. A giant wave, 3,000 meters high, swept outwards with astonishing force and immense size, alarming everyone in the Qiankuan Immortal Sect. Deep within the Qiankuan Immortal Sect, in a pink bathtub, a man with a small mustache suddenly opened his eyes, a sharp glint in them, and roared, "How dare you offend my Qiankuan Immortal Sect? You're courting death." His outburst startled the 2 women nestled against him, who stared at him in terror. "Husband, you are the sect leader. If there is anything, have your subordinates handle it." A beautiful woman stood a few meters away from the bath, speaking words of concern, but her expression was indifferent, and she didn't even look at the man. "I know, just take good care of your own son." The man didn't even look at him, and left without turning back. The beautiful woman took a deep breath, suppressing her anger, and turned to leave. The couple had long been estranged, but they hadn't divorced because one wanted to protect his reputation and the other wanted to protect their son's future. The Dugu clan rushed out and instantly arrived at the front line. Looking at the 3,000-meter-high giant wave rushing towards them and the enormous Chaos Dragon crocodile, their faces turned ashen as they asked, "How did you escape from the prison formation that you were suppressed in?" "Take this blow and I'll answer you." The Chaos Dragon crocodile roared, and a giant wave 3,000 meters high crashed down instantly. Rumble. This time, the palace floating in the void seemed to be facing a great calamity. "How dare you, you monster!" A fierce shout rang out, and a tattered cloth flew from the depths of the palace. It was very inconspicuous, but when it got close, with a loud bang, the tattered cloth shook violently, encompassing heaven and earth, and instantly covered the 3,000-meter-high giant wave, preventing it from destroying the suspended palace. Break! The Chaos Dragon crocodile had anticipated this move, so it roared and moved closer, its double-edged giant axe slashing down fiercely with unparalleled power, aiming to tear the tattered cloth to shreds. "You beast! You're courting death!" The Dugu clan roared, suddenly unleashing a sword strike. With a clang, countless sword shadows trembled, shooting out like sharp beams of light. The sword shadows were so numerous that it was impossible to distinguish which one was real. When the Dugu clan, which had seized the mandate of heaven 7 times, made its move, the Chaos Dragon crocodile felt a tightening on its skin. Even though its physical body was very strong now, if it took the hit head-on, it wouldn't die, but it would be injured and in pain. Just as he was worrying, a willow leaf flew by, weaving through the myriad sword shadows, effortlessly finding the real sword, and then enveloping the long sword. Thump! All the sharpness of the long sword was contained within this willow leaf, unable to be revealed. This was unbelievable to the Dugu clan, as all the power of his sword was enveloped by this willow leaf. Far away on the riverbank, Xiandao smiled slightly, then strode towards the direction of the battle. Behind him, The young disciple looked at Li Xiandao in horror, his body trembling uncontrollably. He shoved Li Xiandao, looked down on Li Xiandao, drove Li Xiandao away, and mocked Li Xiandao. Li Xiandao made no move whatsoever. He neither hit him, nor scolded him, nor harmed him. From beginning to end, Li Xiandao never touched him. However, he scared himself into having psychological trauma, damaging his Dao heart, and he will never make any progress in this life. Moreover, he will often dream about Li Xiandao's actions today. He scared himself silly. Li Xiandao had no interest in getting entangled with a nobody, so he left quietly. Just as Li Xiandao flung out the willow leaf, the Chaos Dragon crocodile wielded its double-edged giant axe, tearing the tattered magic weapon to shreds. It roared to the sky, unleashing a massive wave 3,000 meters high as it crashed down. Rumble. The palace in the sky was struck by a heavy blow at that moment, and with a series of cracking sounds, it was completely smashed and fell straight down. Rumble. The sheer force of the attack was astonishing. Countless people screamed in agony. Even those who could fly couldn't control themselves as the giant wave crashed down upon them. Bang, bang, bang. 1 or 2 people were beaten bloody and fell into the mountains with great force, smashing the palace below. "Father, mother is dead," a little girl cried out. The father she called out was from the Dugu clan. She hopes that the father she sees can come and hug her and save her mother. However, the Dugu clan completely ignored it, turning a deaf ear to their so-called daughter's cries for help, and swept her away with indifferent eyes as if she didn't exist. As for her mother, a woman who betrayed him, does she even deserve to be saved? Which expert is secretly helping this bastard? Dugu clan shouted, his face cold and his eyes flashing with a fierce light. He held a celestial sword in his hand, and even now, wrapped in willow leaves, he had lost his advantage. Bang! The full power of the sword strike from the Dugu clan earlier struck this willow leaf, pulverizing it and leaving not a trace. The willow leaf vanished completely from the world. Clap, clap, clap. Applause rang out, and a figure walked over, exclaiming in admiration, "Peerless swordsmanship used to destroy a willow leaf, truly admirable." The Dugu clan's eyes were gloomy as they stared at Li Xiandao and demanded, "Who are you? Are you in cahoots with this beast?" At this moment, 3 old men flew over, exuding an extraordinary aura and appearing to be quite old. One of them was still thin and without an overcoat. The tattered cloth that shielded him from the giant wave was his outer garment. "The beast you speak of is my pet," Li Xiandao said coldly. "Your pet?" the Dugu clan member asked in shock. "Isn't the Chaos Dragon crocodile without an owner?" "Yes, he was once a descendant of a dragon with mixed bloodlines." "You say he's his master, so he's his master?" The 3 old men also angrily rebuked Li Xiandao. Rumble. After their angry rebuke, the Chaos Dragon crocodile shrunk its body to about 3 meters tall, came behind Li Xiandao, and respectfully said, "Master." The 3 old men's faces changed color, turning black, then blue, and finally red, as they glared angrily at Li Xiandao. "Now you believe I am his master, right?" Li Xiandao looked at the 4 people, completely disregarding the others. "You imprisoned my pet without my permission and even tried to enslave him. Don't you respect me as your master?" Li Xiandao's eyes narrowed, and a terrifying killing intent erupted from them. "What kind of thing are you? You dare to cause trouble at my Chenkuan immortal sect after only 7 attempts to seize life? Aren't you courting death?" the Dugu clan said coldly. Li Xiandao looked at the Dugu clan and suddenly smiled, saying, "You're being very stubborn now, but I wonder if you still recognize this thing?" Li Xiandao took out the contract signed by the Dugu clan. The Dugu clan's expression changed drastically as they stared at the contract in horror. This is his biggest secret. Nobody knows. How did Li Xiandao obtain it? You're from that place?" Dugu asked, trembling, his previous coldness gone. Chapter 479 Swordsmanship is all for killing. Part 10. A contract. This caused the Dugu clan to completely lose their composure, staring at Li Xiandao in shock, their expressions constantly changing. There was fear, uncertainty, intense murderous intent, and a ferocious, terrifying aura. All of these factors combined make the Dugu Gate Valor look extremely terrifying. Xiandao watched calmly, remaining unmoved no matter how many expressions he displayed. Xiandao even managed to send the Chaos Dragon Crocodile away. "Go do what you're supposed to do," Xiandao said calmly. Chaos Dragon Crocodile turned and left. He knew what he had to do. To completely destroy the Chenkuan Immortal Sect, he had to close the world passage leading to the heavens. In this way, the Chenkuan Sect in the heavens would be unable to provide support, and the Chenkuan Immortal Sect would be destroyed. The departure of the Chaos Dragon Crocodile enraged the three elders. "You beast, you destroyed my Chenkuan Immortal Sect's floating palace, and now you think you can escape? You beast, prepare to die. Killing only the master and servant, and having seized the mandate of heaven 7 times, you are not worthy to run wild in my Chenkuan Immortal Sect." The 3 old men were furious. They set their sights on Xiandao and the Chaos Dragon Crocodile, and then planned to split into 2 groups. One to kill the Chaos Dragon Crocodile and the other 2 to kill Xiandao. Their plan was quite good. One person could kill the Chaos Dragon Crocodile. After all, the Chaos Dragon Crocodile had only seized the mandate of heaven 3 times. It would be no problem for a master who had seized the mandate of heaven 7 times to kill him. On Xiandao's side, 2 experts who had seized the mandate of heaven 7 times remained. Even though Xiandao had also seized the mandate of heaven 7 times, they believed they could suppress him. Even if things don't go well, there's still the Dugu clan here, who also seized the mandate of heaven 7 times. Moreover, the Dugu clan's unpredictable swordsmanship allows them to fight 2 opponents at once. Their plans were meticulously executed, but they failed to see that just moments ago, Xiandao had sealed off the Dugu clan's sword techniques with a single willow leaf. Boom! An old man flew out, ignoring Xiandao, to kill the Chaos Dragon Crocodile. How dare they smash down the floating palace that the Chenkuan Immortal Sect had spent 10,000 years building. Damn it! The old man flew past right in front of Xiandao, which made Xiandao frown and say coldly with dissatisfaction, "You're not taking me seriously at all." "It flew over right in front of me to kill my pet. I, Xiandao, am blind?" Upon thinking of this, Xiandao snorted coldly, deciding not to continue playing. "In our eyes, you're blind. Now that things are like this, if you don't want to be blind, we'll gouge your eyes out and show you how treacherous the world is." The Dugu clan finally snapped out of their shock and confusion, gritting their teeth as they looked at Xiandao with murderous intent in their eyes. This contract cannot be exposed. The only way now is to kill Xiandao and tear the contract to shreds. He hid a secret for over 10,000 years, for which he was willing to become a cuckold. To outsiders, he was a lecherous man, but only those close to him knew that he was a cold-blooded person who never touched them and devoted himself to cultivation. So for the past 10,000 years, he has played the role of a lustful man in public, and a cold-blooded seeker of Tao in front of women. As a result, his wife and concubines all cheated on him. When the Dugu clan first learned of this, they were furious. They killed all the adulterers and dismembered them. Then they warned the pregnant women to obediently give birth to their children and not to get entangled with other men again. Over the course of more than 10,000 years, he had 21 children. The mothers of these children were all pregnant through adultery, and their lovers were all killed by the Dugu clan. The Dugu clan paid such a high price and bore so many misunderstandings that people didn't think about his poor health. Now that Xiandao has brought out this contract, once it's made public, will he still be able to face everyone? Therefore, Xiandao must die. Looking at the gritted teeth of the Dugu clan, Xiandao sighed and said, "Being a turtle for so many years must have been quite difficult for you." "Shut up!" the Dugu clan roared, rushing out and drawing his immortal sword to stab fiercely. The Great Freedom Profound Gold Sword Chi. This is the sword technique he obtained from the Heaven and Earth Bank by exchanging his kidney function. It is extremely powerful, a cutting sword technique specifically designed for slashing and killing. The Great Freedom Mystic Gold Immortal Weapon, once drawn, only kills the enemy, there is no retreat. This sword strike was incredibly fierce and invincible. Clang! A sword carrying terrifying Xianjin sword energy rushed straight towards Li Xiandao's face. The Duge clan wanted to hold off Li Xiandao, or even kill him, so that their own people could kill the Chaos Dragon crocodile. But Li Xiandao looked at the black gold sword energy and suddenly smiled, quite strangely. Have you ever tried killing your own people? What? The Duge clan was shocked. Then he felt a jolt in his body and uncontrollably traversed space. Boom! Li Xiandao unleashed his full power, grabbing the hand of the Duge clan member. Before the old man could react, he moved and caught up with the old man who had gone to kill the Chaos Dragon crocodile. Then, with a flick of his long sword, the great freedom profound gold sword chi erupted, tearing through the sky and slashing out. Click! The old man had no idea that Li Xiandao would appear behind him so quickly, accompanied by the Duge clan, whose great freedom profound gold sword chi erupted and directly attacked. That is, the sword aura was chilling, and he instinctively dodged a step away when he got close. However, one of his arms was still severed by the great freedom profound gold sword chi. The old man roared in pain and exclaimed in shock and anger, "What are you doing? Why did you cut off my arm? I have no cultivation method for regenerating severed limbs." In that brief moment, the Duge clan reacted, looking at Li Xiandao who was so close to them, and thought in horror, "It wasn't me, he grabbed my hand and did it." The Duge clan was so scared by Li Xiandao that they wet themselves. What kind of speed is this? What kind of skill is this? What level of cultivation is this? Die! The Duge clan erupted with his full cultivation, twisted his wrist, and slashed fiercely, unleashing a burst of sword light that was dazzling and incredibly beautiful. He aimed at Li Xiandao's heart, intending to stab him directly. But Li Xiandao was faster, kicking the Duge clan member directly in the heart and abdomen. Bang! The Duge clan's body was struck as if by a heavy blow, and he flew backward uncontrollably, spitting out a mouthful of blood, and crashed into a large area of palace ruins. Li Xiandao kicked the Duge clan member away, turned around and pointed his fingers into a sword, unleashing sword energy. One sword, 10,000 techniques. Li Xiandao coldly unleashed his sword strike, his long, straight fingers unleashing a myriad of sword techniques. All these 10,000 sword techniques ultimately converge on one goal: kill. All sword techniques, no matter how flashy, beautiful or powerful, are nonsense if they don't kill. A sword is a deadly weapon, and swordsmanship is all about killing. Now, Li Xiandao's sword struck the old man's brow with lightning speed. Click. The old man's expression was blank. He hadn't revealed any of his terrifying cultivation level. He collapsed to the ground, his body convulsing. There was a bloodstain between his eyebrows, a mark of sword energy. Li Xiandao turned and left, his nonchalant manner as if he had just killed a domestic rooster. Chapter 480: A Man Who Lives for Fame. Part 11. Li Xiandao is invincible. Li Xiandao had previously stated that he was an invincible being in Juntian. This statement is perfectly exemplified in the present day. He kicked the Duge clan away and killed the old man who had also seized the destiny of heaven 7 times with a sword finger. Easy peasy. Li Xiandao arrived at the ruins, sighed, and said with a hint of melancholy, "I originally wanted to talk to you all as equals and interact with you as an ordinary person, but all I got in return was killing intent and contempt. I'm not pretending anymore, I'm laying my cards on the table. In Juntian, I am invincible." Duge clan member clutched his lower abdomen, trembling as he looked at Li Xiandao. He didn't know how to describe his current feelings. In short, it was just 2 words: miserable. He was so upset. He had practiced swordsmanship for over 10,000 years, and he thought that even if his swordsmanship was not the best in the world, he would still have a place in it. He had mastered the great freedom profound gold sword chi to perfection, making it incomparably powerful. In the past, he had killed any enemy with a single strike, without ever faltering. These glorious past achievements made the Duge clan feel extremely powerful. In the heavenly realm, I am invincible. Since I am invincible, I must never let anyone know that I am being cuckolded. That's why he wanted to kill Li Xiandao. But now, this dream of being invincible has been shattered. It was shattered by Li Xiandao's own hands. Just now, he had made a desperate strike, but Li Xiandao grabbed his wrist in an instant, and then the sword fell, severing his own companion's arm instead. At that moment, the Dugu clan was truly going crazy, and he questioned himself countless times in his heart. Are there really such terrifying people in this world? He was completely unaware that Li Xiandao had made a move, but when his long sword fell, it severed his comrade's arm instead. This nightmarish scene drove the Dugu clan to the brink of madness, forcing him to gather all his strength and unleash 10,000 years of swordsmanship into this single strike. He wanted to kill Li Xiandao. He plunged his immortal sword into Li Xiandao's heart to wash away this shame. However, with a casual kick from Li Xiandao, he was filled with boundless passion, sword intent, and conviction, yet the kick quickly moved away from Li Xiandao. Click, click, click. At that moment, the confidence of the Dugu clan shattered. Li Xiandao's casual kick brought him down from his illusion of invincibility, leaving him bruised, swollen, and aching all over. Then, looking back, he saw Li Xiandao standing in the very spot he had thought he was standing, unleashing a sword aura. One sword, 10,000 techniques. Li Xiandao's sword strike killed a master who had seized the destiny of heaven 7 times. This expert was utterly powerless against Li Xiandao, as clumsy as a wooden stake. He took Li Xiandao's sword strike head-on. Then, he entered the netherworld. The Dugu clan stood up shakily, unable to speak. The other 2 elderly men were terrified. They had seen all sorts of things in their lives, but such a frightening scene was rare for them. Who exactly are you? An old man asked bitterly. He dared not make a move now and even had to beg Li Xiandao not to kill them. I'm just a debt collector, Li Xiandao said with a slight smile. A debt collector? The old man was taken aback, then looked at the Dugu clan. At this moment, the elders and disciples of the Qiankuan immortal sect all looked at the Dugu clan. This also includes some of the children of the Dugu clan. Dugu's face turned pale and then red. He looked at Li Xiandao, shook his head slightly, and looked at him with pleading eyes. This matter cannot be revealed. If it is, all the reputation he has built up over his life will be completely destroyed. Not only that, he also had to bear the burden of being ridiculed forever, and even after he died, he would still be pointed at and talked about. This is something that the Dugu clan absolutely cannot accept. Li Xiandao looked at the Dugu clan, his thoughts in a very subtle way. It wasn't that he was soft-hearted or that he would spare the Dugu clan. Li Xiandao thought that the Dugu clan truly lived for fame. For fame, he entered the heaven and earth money shop and exchanged his kidney function for the Great Freedom Profound Gold Sword Qi. Having obtained the Great Freedom Profound Gold Sword Qi, he diligently cultivated and became the leader of the Qiankuan immortal sect, a position of great power and influence, revered by countless people. He traded his kidney function for the Great Freedom Profound Gold Sword Qi, essentially to become the leader of the Qiankuan immortal sect. The ultimate goal of becoming the leader of the Qiankuan immortal sect was fame. Afterwards, in order to prevent people from knowing that he had a physical defect, he stubbornly pretended to be a philandering sect leader, married a beautiful wife, and even took concubines, thus gaining a reputation for being a womanizer. Essentially, he was still after fame. He married a wife but rarely slept with her, and even threatened her not to tell anyone. Then his wife cheated on him and became pregnant. For the sake of fame and face, the Dugu clan gritted their teeth and made their wife give birth to the child, then held a grand celebration and announced that the child was their son. Of course, the adulterer in the shadows died a terrible death, tortured to the point of wishing he were dead. This has happened 21 times in the past 10,000 years. For the sake of face and reputation, the Dugu family had 21 children. This is him. He has lived his whole life for fame and face. Now, he shakes his head at Li Xiandao with pleading eyes. He begged Li Xiandao not to tell anyone about this. The Dugu clan is unwilling to lose the reputation and prestige accumulated over more than 10,000 years. Li Xiandao can understand this kind of person, but he will not become that kind of person. The Dugu clan has come to collect a debt today, A blood debt. You killed the Chaos Dragon Crocodile's sister, and we've come today for her sake, Xiandao said calmly. Upon hearing that the blood debt was owed to the sister of the Chaos Dragon Crocodile, the Duga clan was not alarmed but delighted, as if they had seen a treasure, and looked at Xiandao. As expected, Xiandao did not reveal the contents of the contract. A blood debt must be repaid in blood. As long as you don't harm the disciples of the Qiankuan Immortal Sect, I'm willing to pay. The Duga clan was grateful for Xiandao's righteousness and for offering his help. Knowing he couldn't withstand the attack, he felt Xiandao had already given him face. So he directly offered his immortal sword with both hands, along with a secret manual. The Great Freedom Profound Gold Sword Qi. Step by step, in front of countless disciples, the Duga clan knelt down before Xiandao and said, I am the leader of the Qiankuan Immortal Sect. If you kill me, the Qiankuan Immortal Sect will cease to exist. These disciples are all innocent. Looking at the Duga clan, Xiandao didn't forget to claim credit for himself even at this point. At that moment, he transformed into a righteous sect leader who sacrificed himself to save all the disciples and elders of the Qiankuan Immortal Sect. Xiandao looked around and noticed that many of his sentimental female disciples had started to cry. Even many of the male disciples had tears in their eyes, looking at Xiandao with resentment. Xiandao found it amusing. People's names are often fictitious and misleading. Some people don't care about them at all, going their own way and not bothering to explain. Some people value their reputation more than their own lives, preferring to give up their lives rather than their reputation. The Dugu clan was the latter.